Hello, everyone. How are you today? You are with Sacred Para. I hope that you guys are having an awesome Saturday. Hello, how are you? That is finishing Them's Patels. How are you today? Hi, Barbie Size Life and Villa. So today I have an awesome, amazing guest. I am so excited to be able to sit down and talk to her about her amazing storyline, and I'm more than certain that you're going to enjoy it too. So if you've already checked out my virtual flyer, you saw that I am going to be talking to Barbie Size Life of Villa. Hey, I'm so excited. And wonderful thing about it is we are doing this, of course, internationally. You know how I get so excited about international conversations, being able to relate storylines that touch the heart, relate to us on a human basic scale. I think that it's so wonderful to know that we transcend, right, the area code that we live in because of this wonderful thing called www, Worldwide Internet. So I love or World Wide Web. So I love the factor being that we can connect and really be able to talk about the things that relate to us on this human basic scale. So, and without further ado, I am going to call her so that we can chat and discuss storyline content creation as well as. So I hope that you guys are going to enjoy today's conversation. I know I am.
Hello.
How are you?
Whoa, that's a question you don't want to ask from a Finnish person if you don't want to know the whole thing, because you're going to get the whole thing. And yeah, hang in
I
here.
don't mind having the whole thing. That's probably the same thing in our culture too.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous, have to admit. Uh, but yeah, excited.
Excited. Is this your first live?
No, but I haven't done lives for ages. So,
Really?
so, well, I guess the thing that I'm most nervous is the language because, well, I'm a Finnish speaker, so
Oh, we're
um,
fine.
yeah,
We're
uh,
fine. We're fine. We're
yeah.
fine.
Well, we
Oh
are
goodness,
fine.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm just like in fangirl mode because I love your storyline.
Oh,
I
thank
do.
you.
And I love how, and I put that in the caption, how you are able to incorporate your culture and your Finnish, you know, your
Mhm.
traditions in with your storyline. It's amazing to me.
Thank you. Um, well, I first thought that well, I could do a story like well, this international vibes and all, and then I started thinking like, why? Why should I do that? I'm a Finnish person, and well, we are a small nation, and we have a lot of different customs and things that other people don't even know about. Why shouldn't I do about think about my culture that could be
Yeah,
really interesting and well exotic to other people? And yeah, that's how it turned out.
I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you did. So I have a whole bunch of questions, and I
Yeah,
know that you also are prepped and ready. So let's go ahead. Let's get this going.
yeah.
What is your background as a writer?
Well, I have been writing for almost like 20 years. Well, I think I started around when I was 15 or something, and I'm close to 50. So, quite a long time. And well, first stories were I wish somebody would have like smacked me on the face and like, come on, you can do better than this. But I used to be like this desktop writer, writing just for myself and getting out of this world with writing and with my own stories and own world I created and things like that. Used to be scared and nervous and lonely teenage girl that was really hard bullied and left out. So it was a world where I escaped from all that. So that's how I started, and then I was doing it little by little, and then somehow came a thing called internet, and that opened new realms, and I found fan fiction and all the forums, and then suddenly there was an audience, and it was so scary. It was so scary to publish the first
Yeah.
thing, and like, oh God, people are going to lynch me, and like, oh, they're going to hate this. And it was just the opposite.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how
Did
to
it?
react there. Like, what? People like this, and whoa. And in my personal life, I know many professional writers, and you always compare yourself into them, and they have
I
been
know,
published
right? Yes.
tens of books and all. And like, no, 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 I can't do things like that. So I have kept writing and writing, and yeah, with a certain alias, I have wrote a lot of long stories and a lot of fan fiction, and I got amazing amount of feedback. And like, oh God, I can't help without reading this, and oh God, you need to continue. And like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? And I think the best feedback is from one fanfic that now I've heard it 10 times, that the feedback goes like this: that I started to cry 20 minutes after I started to read the last chapters. It was 3 hours
Yes.
ago, and I still can't stop crying. And
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's the feeling when you get people to feel something, the
Yes.
emotions, and whoa, that
I agree.
was amazing.
I agree. I agree. So would you say that being able to touch people emotionally is what
Mm.
keeps you writing?
I think so, but I have done it mostly for myself. Uh, I work in fashion industry, so I have no desire to write about that. I have no interest in that, but somehow, because I know what it is. Um, but as a creative person, I want something else. I don't want to do just this one thing, and yes, this is your work and you're going to do this till you are dead. I'm not satisfied for that. So writing has been like went out for me, really really good way to, well, relieve the stress and get the creative energies flowing. And well, it just happens that it just comes out, and um, there's a constant story in my head all the time. So I really need to get those out, because
I
otherwise there will be nights that I won't sleep, because the certain kind of play goes in your head, and you really
yes.
need to get it out, and you can move
Yes.
forward.
Now, where do you get your storylines from?
Oh gosh, um, I'd say the answer is same as with my real life work. It's people, because people are so interesting. We are so complex and beings. There's so much in us that keeps it going. And well, yes, I have to admit, I'm the person who has ears this big in bus or in train, or like, oh, that was interesting conversation, and like, oh, I want to know how this is going to end, and I ruthlessly use those. So people close to me really, really need to be careful what they are saying, because it's going to end up in my stories in a way or another. And
But when
mm,
names change, but yeah, yeah, most definitely. You have to pull from what you either know or what you're around. And
yeah,
I love how you have created these and all of your characters are very complex, very textured. So I like how you have that. Now, when it comes to your main character, how did you select her as your main character?
Okay, this needs a little bit background because I started this year and a half ago, and I have had this really big Barbie dollhouse, and it was built in a cabinet. And in teenage years, when the peer pressure was so high, like, are you still playing with dolls? So I closed it, but I never got rid of them. And I had this dream that someday I'm going to open it and I'm going to build the most beautiful and the most fanciest dollhouse there ever is, and really give my all to it, to adult motivation and the money and time we can give. And someday I'm going to do that. But there was never good enough time. So when the COVID started and the first lockdowns started, my husband found like this IKEA-sized amount of IKEA bag-sized, you know, those blue bags.
Yes.
That amount of Lego. And he saw that there was this 80s space Lego he had been dreaming of, his holy grail he never got as a child. And he bought that. And then we had Lego all over. And yes, he actually got that spaceship and 12 others and 2 castles and what else? Huge amount of things. And then I decided, okay, he started that. So now it's my time. Now it's time to open the doll cabinet. And it was a decision I have never regret after that, because it has brought so much light and joy and happiness into my life. And first I thought that, okay, I'm just using my old stuff, my old dolls and all that. And okay, yeah, I'm going to start building from this. And like we know, it never stops there. So
It doesn't.
then I saw the original Venla on a shop, and I thought it was the most beautiful doll I have ever seen, and I needed to get it. And somehow, just Venla was there. Right the moment when I got her, and like I said, I'm staying a night person, staying up all the time if I have ideas, and somehow there was Venla, and she wanted to come out. And then I was like, oh, damn, I'm really going to do this again. And then I decided that, okay, I'm going to combine all these 3 things that have been really meaningful and important to me. I'm going to combine the building of the dollhouse, the storytelling I have been doing, and well, I thought I wasn't a doll person. I never considered myself as a collector. Somehow Venla's story, and a couple days after that, when Venla started to exist, then came Ilari, and I was like, okay, who is this guy and what he's doing in my mind? And damn. And then I realized, and shit, I'm really going to get some new dolls. This is not working. Any of my old dolls they weren't that person. So I needed to start looking, and then
What made you decide to go with the Phoenician dolls?
It was about that time. Because first I thought that, yes, I'm going to use all the Barbie dolls I have. No problem. Then I saw 1 to 6 dollhouse in Facebook, and I was like, whoa, wait, what was that doll? Okay, I need to get more info. Whoa. In my childhood, Barbies didn't look like that. And hey, this is something new. I need to get information out of this. Then I messaged her like, okay, sorry, I know we don't know, but help me. I want to know more. And yeah, I blame her. I really blame her for this because, yeah. And it was really good information because there's a lot you need to know before you even buy the first one, because all the skin tones and what kind of body styles you have, what goes together. It would have been impossible to find those with just yourself. So,
So
yeah,
like, because I've looked them up before, and it looks like the heads and the bodies are sold
yeah,
separately.
yeah. Because I don't like the ready-made kits because they are already someone else's characters made from comics, um, from some artwork or something like that, and they are already a person. I don't care that. I want to make persons of my own, characters of my own. I don't want any ready-made type. I have seen so many that buy like Chris Evans' head, and then they're always Steve. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fun, but well, there's no Steves in Finland, and
I
um,
understand.
and it's
You
a certain
want a
person.
unique character.
Yeah, and that's why I've spent hours and hours for looking for certain kind of heads that do they speak to me? Do I get the feeling out of it? Yeah, I bought several Barbies too at that time, but why I did the change was the, let's see, here's Auntie, here's Old Well. How do they look together? First I
It
thought,
looks like an odd match, but
yeah, a really odd man, like, okay, I could use that, and it's not bothering me, and I'm like, yes, it's bothering me. And it turned out that I couldn't deepen the relationship between Ilari and Venla when Venla was still Barbie doll, because it started to look like that Venla is kind of this weird sex doll Ilari has, like, no, can't use it.
I,
It's like, because that was the imagination I got for like, oh no, this is, I'm not going to use it. I can't use this. I thought it won't be bothering me, but yes, it was. So then started the big work to find the proper Venla, because some head just didn't do, because she was
Willa
already
has,
person,
yeah.
certain look. I'm still not happy with her body because she's still too thin. I want a girl with a small bust and big bum. Why there isn't such body? there is for Barbie dolls, but not for Tyson. So
Yeah.
that's why I haven't done the scars Venla has, because she's still in a body I'm not fully agree. And if there's any ever going to be a body that I described, then it's right there. It's Venla's body.
I
And
agree.
then I'm
I
going to
agree.
do the scars for her.
I totally agree. But I do like the fact of being that even with the body that she has, you were able to really just get such emotion and depth from Winla. It's great. I love it. And then the way that you're able to do your photos, it just really does show how much of an impact the story has on her as the character. So I like how you do that. Even if I mean, for you, you know what kind of body that you want. But for us who are reading it, we really do enjoy how you're using her, how you're posing her. I do have a question though, because I don't have any
Yeah.
Phoenician dolls. Do you have to take care of them different as far as just
Yeah.
like, because it seems like they're made out of a different kind of texture, so the care of it seems like it would be different.
Yeah, it's there. There's a learning curve that you really need to pay attention to, because you can't leave them just sitting around like that because it will break the skin. So after you are done, you always go to basic pose because otherwise you will break the knees and you will break the elbows and such. But when you know it and you take it to your heart, there's no problem. And yeah, you need to wash them now and then. Okay, so some people won't do it, but I keep changing so much clothes, they will get all the lint in them. So there's some maintenance you need to take care of. But I don't mind. It's the restriction of that kind of doll type that goes with it. You just need to accept it. It's same. Okay. Like I said, I work in the fashion industry. I'm doing textile references here. So it's same like when you're wearing linen clothes. They're going to get wrinkly,
Yes,
like it or not. You just have to accept it. It's same kind of thing. So
it's true. That is true.
yeah.
With different fabrics, you have to take care of them different. You have to take care of your cotton different than you do with your silk. So, I mean, like, that's true. My mom's in the fashion industry. Well, she was for many, many years. And it's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not all fabrics are created the same. And if you want to be able to have certain outfits for a longer extended amount of time, you have to dry clean it versus, just throwing it in the laundry. So,
yeah. And there was a good point in the comment section that baby powder is a really, really good thing. So you can get lint out of it, and when you just powder with it, baby powder, so it's much easier to clothe them.
Because, and at one point in time for me, I used to do reborn dolls, and there's a difference between like if you do just your regular plastic compared to if you do I think it's the silicone, and so you have to take care of the silicone way different with the baby powder and washing them and everything else.
Yeah, this part was really easy because I have 4 years old, so I did had old baby powder. Like, yeah, okay, I have it already on the house. So what's the problem? So yeah,
and they really do become like your babies, especially I believe when you have the different textures of plastic and so forth, and silicone and so forth. You have to take care of them if you want to be able to continue to have them.
Yes.
Now, what made you decide to go with storyline instead of going with fashion or even creating a storyline around fashion?
Okay, now I'm really boring, but I'm this full of fashion. So it's really great for people who like it and love it. But I work with it. I've seen it, how it is, and it's far from glamour and glitz and like nothing like it. So, and personally, I hate all the
escape. I need to get out of that world.
Yeah. I rather do something that like with real people or getting the feeling of real people. I personally hate all those jet set happenings, and then you have a glass of bubbly and something like that, and I totally hate it. I'd rather be at home with my kid and do something fun, and they are so boring and no one's real there, and and there was like one happening. There was one designer who had a birthday. This was really great example because, like I said, I'm closer to 50.
You don't look like it at all. I was actually going to ask you. I was like, maybe she meant closer to 40. No, because I'm close to 40. So I don't even think that you look like you're close to 40, but I was like, still wanting to group you with me. I was like, okay, we're more closer to 40. No, I was going to say something because I was like, I think that she just rounded off to. You look great. You look great.
Thank you.
You do.
Well, but yeah, there was one designer's birthday, and there was other other party we were before that, which was at a cigar club. It was my husband's thing. So we were at the cigar club, smelling of smoke and like telling this, yeah, bloomers came. Yeah, really, bloomers really came out. Yeah, we are smelling of smoke here, and there was, yeah, I recognized, yeah, all of Miss Finlands from like 6 years are here, and all the candidates and like that, and then the actually the birthday cake was from Arnold's Donuts, made from donuts, and they're like, it's really small. It's never going to last for this kind of lot. And actually, people didn't touch it at all because you get your tummy would look bad, and oh God, I can't eat it. It's a real thing. It's actually a real thing. And all the girls, they wore so much makeup, and I was like, it's like you are wearing a mask. I don't even see the real you. Yeah, they are pretty, but they're wearing a mask. They don't look good. And yeah, there we are in that party, I was eating my second donut, watching when the midnight marathon runners go out there. Like, yeah, I feel really old, like out of place. But
I
yeah,
understand. I do, because you want to be able to get to the heart of who a person is and really, have that in-depth conversation to be able to see who you're talking to versus just having them have on this mask.
yeah,
Because the mask and the makeup is really so symbolic of who they are,
yeah, yeah.
So I do. I
But
dig. And I love the fact of being, though, with your characters, you created these characters that are very in-depth. Now, I love Winla. I love all your characters. But I will admit, I have such a, I don't know if it's like a kinship to her. Is it Ona? Una? I want to say Una.
Ona.
Ona. Oh, my goodness. Her story, like, how did you create her?
Well, okay, we have 16 years. Okay, just among us. I get so much blame that Wenla is so like me. I'm like, no, she's definitely not like me. I'm not a kitchen person. I don't like gardening, and I don't know. She's very far from me. But Ona is maybe the closest one for real me.
Wow.
So yeah. That was a confession. Okay, and now I remember you are putting this out later, and I'm like, oh,
oh my goodness! I really do, and maybe it's because, and I probably feel that kinship with her because like my own life and past and so forth, and just how she puts up this front almost, as far as like not wanting to get hurt. And yet she is such a like tender and sensitive character when you really do get to know her. And so I love, like I said, I love how you crafted her. And then you said that you modeled her somewhat after you. And it's like, wow, okay, well then, that's understandable as far as how you were able to create her so well because she related to you.
Well, it's not, I take parts, not completely like me, but there's a certain parts. Like I went through a really nasty divorce, and yes, what she's going through with her breaking up with Thomas, well, it's, yeah, a lot of those are my personal feelings.
Understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Oh, goodness.
But
I love how you're able to get to this place, though, of being able to put that in your storyline, because that's not easy. Be it with a divorce or, any kind of a situation that's personally based. It's not easy to put that in your storyline, to write about it, especially when we talk about putting it on the internet. It's not really easy to do. And so I commend you for doing it. And it also goes to show that you're like in a different place of your healing journey to be able to apply that story. So how has that like helped you even more to be able to write about it? Through her.
It's maybe easier to dug up those feelings and what you have felt at that time when you are so many years over it. But it's really easy to go back to them, and yeah, that felt really, really bad. And But it's surprising how many have gone through the similar things in their own lives. Because there was part before they broke up, and I wanted to show that it's not always about somebody's cheating on someone or something like that. It could be totally different reasons why you will break up. And
Yes.
there was a scene when they were in bed, and Ona really didn't want to have sex, but she went compelled that she should do it. And uh, it ended like that they were both hurt, and they both really, really suffered of the situation. And I got tons and tons about feedback about that certain scene, and it was all positive. I was really sure that I would get banned or flagged or whatever for that, because it was really sensitive thing. But there was so many women commenting. Well, they were private messaging me saying that this was so close to their own lives. Something they have been has been happening to them or is happening right now, that it was too personal to leave a comment. So I was discussing with so many people about that scene, and there was so many men commenting about that too, that this was the first time seeing somebody write about that when your loved one kind of pushes you away and how much it hurts.
Yeah.
And I was stunned. I didn't real. It was really difficult scene for me to write or put out.
Mm.
But after I saw all that feedback, I'm like, okay, this was subject that was really sensitive to many, really difficult thing, but it clearly helped them.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, there's someone else who feels like this.
And that's the thing, is just like when you're able to come to that place in your writing and in your storyline to put the stuff that's uncomfortable to write, it can help. Even if it's just one person, it can help that person kind of see that, number one, I'm not alone. And that's what I feel that so many of your characters do in your storylines. It tells us that we're not alone. And that, like I said, I commend you on your storyline. I enjoy it. I'm fangirling right now because I'm excited just to be able to see you and talk to you. Because I really do. I enjoy reading your stories. I enjoy how you put such an impactful message in with each one of your characters. Like I said, now I do have a certain kinship with Ona, but I like all your characters. Even when it comes to Thomas, because like with him, Thomas, like I was able to see him and how he related with Winla just recently.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, wow, like this guy, he's not, and I don't think that he's, and the way that you even did the breakup, it wasn't that it was like a bad person in either one of the situations. It's just that they kind of like grew apart. It was just too much space. From what I understood, it was just too much space in between their relationship, where they were kind of going their separate ways already. So I understood. It almost seemed logical that they were going to end up having to split up. You didn't want them to, but it seemed logical. And I'm glad that you did bring up the situation as far as them being in the bed together and, should I have sex? I feel like I should, but I really don't feel emotionally connected. And that is such an important part to put as far as with the relationship, because sex is just more than just our bodies maneuvering together.
Yes.
It's this emotional connection. And I don't think that all the time men get, spotlighted in our society as far as them feeling whenever a woman doesn't have that connection to them. It's just more like, oh, men just love sex, so it doesn't really matter. But I love that you apply the factor being that he felt the emotional dissonance. He wanted her to, he wanted her to enjoy his presence, and she wasn't. So, he felt that. And I like that you put that in there. Like I said, you're able to make such textured characters and they have a lot of layers, and I love how you apply that. Now, of course, when we fast forward, And I wanted Ona to hook up with them. I wanted them to hook up so bad. I still do. And of course, now he's got the redhead.
Yeah.
And so I feel bad. I almost feel bad because I don't want them to break up. But I still
difficult.
like those two together.
Well, actually, as it's a crossover, we actually don't know what's going to happen because the other thing is that you need to leave room for your dolls to, well,
Yes.
live their lives and tell us what they want to do. Well, dolls, characters, whatever you want to call it. But it's not well, I have done it so many times. I've written a wonderful scene. Then I started to make photos, and they're like, "Nope, we're not going to do this." And I'm like, "Yes, you are." And then, "No, we won't." And I'm like, "Come on!" And they won't. Then I have to change. So
I mean,
we
it's
don't
serious
actually,
because
we
like
don't
you'll be
know.
trying to pose them and they're falling down, or the arm just won't naturally wrap around the other person. And you're like, okay, I guess that's not going to work. So what do you want to do?
Yeah, there's been, I had so many troubles with Venla and Ilari at first because every time I tried to leave them, they were almost starting to make a feel like, come on, dudes, you are not there yet. You can't, I'm not going to let you do that. No. Keep your hands away from it. No. It was really hard. And there was a point last Christmas there was a scene when Iiro, it's actually, this is a mistake many people do. It's Iiro, not Liro. It's
Iiro.
Oh yeah. There's a double vowel. Two eyes. Iiro.
No, you're fine. I want to say it the right way.
Yeah, but last Christmas, Iiro was trying to make a move and get Venla. Really played his brother out of the scene.
I know!
And,
that was crazy.
And yeah.
I didn't know he was like that. Like, I went back in the storyline and I was like, no, he's not like that. And he was.
Firstly, I was going to let him to get his ways with Venla. I actually did the photos. And then I realized I can't do this. I really can't do this because Ilari won't never forget this. He won't forget and forgive this. I can't do this. But yeah, I tried.
Wow.
But they were like, this is not going to work. The photos went, I did it, but it didn't feel right. And it felt like somebody's forcing someone, like, no, this doesn't feel right. This is not working. And then I went back to editing and like, no. When think about the character, how would they react? Venla can't lie that much. She couldn't have done it, and Ilari would never forgive it. So I couldn't do that.
I like that. Staying true to your characters.
Yeah.
And that is so important. I like that. That's important because you're thinking of how they are as a character that's been constructed and built, but then even how they are in the future. How would they react to this? Would this be something that he would be able to forgive later on? So I like that you thought about all those different paths, and then you were just like, you know what, I'm going to have to redo these photos.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most important thing when we are writing is to think about how would this person react into the situation like this or that, or they're getting news and how would they react to that, or would they really do this? I think it's important to think about that. Then they keep true to themselves.
I like that. I really, really do, because I have a small pet peeve as far as if there's certain kind of like crisis that takes place, and then you're following the storyline throughout, even whenever you're reading a book and you're following that storyline throughout, and then it just kind of has like a really happy ending. And I'm not, as it's not to be, you know, a pessimist or be mean or anything like that, but I feel like sometimes we need to, you know, if it's going to have a bad result, let's put that on there. You know, if people are going to have their feelings hurt, then let's put that on there, because that's what really would happen. So I like the factor being that when I read your storyline, I'm always satisfied with that. You know, I may feel hurt with your characters, but in the same hand, it's real. It's realistic. You know, I mean, how would you be able to have Thomas and Una be able to recover from that? You know, realistically, they're not going to be able to get back together, at least not right now. You know, and it would have been, in my opinion, kind of hard for them to have come from that bedroom scene and then say everything's okay, not a real big deal. We're just going to keep on smiling.
They still would have their problems.
And it wouldn't have been true to who their characters are.
And Ona is already grown over that past. She's moving. She's moving forward. She won't go back to what it was. My tongue is twisting. Oh.
No, you're fine. What once was, you know, she's not gonna go back to that. Yeah, I'm so curious. Don't tell us though. But I am so curious to find out what's gonna go on between her and Iro. Iro,
yeah. Iro. Who is right?
Yeah, he is such a cool character. I know he just fell out. He is such a cool character. Now tell us. Okay, so you said in the storyline that at one point in time he had an illness, right?
Yeah, cancer.
He had cancer.
Yeah.
Like what all happened?
Iro is actually based on two real persons, and one was really close person to me who got cancer when he was turning 18. So you have really sensitive part of growing up. You are just turning into adult kind of phase, adult kind of life, because 18 is a year when you get into the bars and you get a driver's license in Finland. So it was really hard part, and then I was helping him quite a lot at that time period. And actually, that's how, well, when the story started, Ira was still doing his mandatory military service we have to do here. And that was exactly what happened to this friend of mine. And I kind of borrowed his backstory for Iro in that part. But he's also player extraordinary. Jeez, my tongue. But yeah, he's a fuckboy and he's a player. And yes, that's the other person I know he was based on. And I'm sorry my language, because I'm going to say very nasty things.
You're fine. Hey, we're adults. You're fine.
Yeah, I actually have heard that, shall we put our pissing gear together as in real pickup line? And like, really? But later on, when we got, we actually, we befriended. Nothing ever happened between us two, but we actually befriended. I didn't slap him because like, are you serious? What? And later he told me that, yeah, it's like half of time he gets slapped. Slapped, and like, and half time it works. I'm like, are you serious? Like, what?
Just said whatever was on his mind to say. Just like didn't even try to exactly.
Yeah. So all Iro's really bad pickup lines are from real life. I haven't make them up. They are real. They are actually real. All those cringy, like, Finnish guys in a bar.
He has no gentleman training at all, but he's doing better. He is doing better. He really
Yep.
is. You created a character, and that's what I love about your characters. They evolve, so we're able to see how he was
Mm.
to where he's at now. And for me, now touching on his character, having cancer and being able to overcome that. And I imagine he still has to have precautions.
Yeah.
Like, it spoke to me because I had a friend of mine growing up. We
Mm.
were in school together from middle school on up and just really best buddies. And he had cancer. And so when you put that in the storyline, it really pulled me because he was a very enigmatic kind of guy, very charismatic. And I was able to see him change, and have to go through treatment. And, he came to my wedding and so forth. And it was, it was rather hard, seeing how things change for him. I guess the
Yeah.
word change is probably the best word to put in
Yeah.
there.
That's why.
But that was my buddy for a long, long time before he ended up transitioning. So that, like I said, that part did pull on me more, and I don't think that we put as much of we don't really showcase or talk about the fact of being that cancer affects everyone,
Yeah.
and it affects everyone differently. Like either the person who has it, their family, their friends,
Mm.
being able to walk through that with them and having to see them change from the person that they were to who they are right now. So I like the factor being that when because we do see him kind of as the quote unquote fuck boy, and we
Mm.
see him being the player, and we see him as being someone who just kind of like shrugs things off,
Yeah.
So when you put that in there, we saw this gentle side of him, and we saw a side of him that, like when he was looking in the mirror, and he was over at was it Takia? I'm gonna actually ask you to say all the names later though, because I saw someone that said they were like I wondered how to pronounce their names, but he was over her house. And there was the comment that was said when she said about, that she felt that he looked cute. That she liked how he looked.
Yeah.
And, we kind of like saw that insecurity and how possibly, having to go through treatments and having to go through the illness and everything had kind of taken a toll on his self-esteem even.
Yeah.
And I know for me, I never saw it like that.
Because he used to be really pretty boy with long hair, and he could depend on his looks, and he can say anything and he'll still get the girl because he was a pretty boy. It usually okay, this is based on real life because I have friends who have reached the middle age and like okay, this doesn't work anymore like it used to. Like, yeah, you're getting old. and
it's true. It's true. When you get older, it's just not the same.
Yeah, because now he really has to put some work on it, and then like it's not just a pretty face anymore, but because he had a cancer, he really has to gather it all together and get even with it, because I don't know how many notice it, but I put one sentence into his mouth saying he just realized he's not going to die because he was close to death. His cancer got into remission, and then he has kind of been waiting it start again. He has been like living like it has been his last day, not giving a shit about anything, because it could start all over again and he can die anytime. And now he's starting to realize that, oh, I'm not going to die. My life is continuing. I'm not going to die. So what am I going to do with my life? Who am I anymore?
Man.
This is what he's going through now.
Well, I like the factor being that, like I said, you have created characters that evolve. He just now had this conversation with, now please help me. Is it Takira?
Taika. Yeah.
I'm writing it down. I am.
Finnish names are so difficult because we have lots of vowels and we pronounce every letter.
We do too, as African Americans. We do too, Black Americans. my actual given name is Rashida, and I've had it, but it doesn't look like it sounds. And I've had people chew that name up, like in so many ways. Rashida, Rashida. I'm like, no, it's Rashida. And and I've had people just really just do horrible on my name. So
Taika, yeah. And yeah, like when dolls decide to do something, last time when we were shooting pictures in my place in a bar, and we just put them in there, and the moment Oona and Taika started to scold each other, and like, do you see what I'm saying here? I was like, yeah, they don't like each other. No, not at all. And we tried this, and I was like, no. Okay, let's try something. And we turned Taika's head towards Eero, and then it was like, sweet, and this wonderful little creature, and like, what happened? And then we turned her head towards Oona again, like, yeah, they don't get along. And we didn't plan it. We didn't plan it at all. So it was like, wow, okay, because there's been lots of make a threesome. It's like, sure. There's a little thing here because they don't want to do this, at least at this point.
No. Now, I could see to a certain extent maybe that Oona would. Maybe. But the way that Taika is almost like she, and then when she gave the backstory of the previous relationship, I don't see her going for that. She wants something that's solid just for her.
Yeah. Something for her and something, someone she can own herself into, and like, I'm being there for you, and well, I don't know. It's actually it's not my character, so I can't really analyze her any deeper. But doing these crossovers are really interesting because you never know where you are going to get into.
And that was going to be my question. Like, how do you make that collaboration work? And well, first off, how did you guys come to that place of having a collaboration, doing the crossover?
These are always so funny little things that I think first one was with Ellie from Finland, and she lives in a city where my mother-in-law lives, and I was buying something from her, and I was saying, okay, do you want to meet, because I'm going to come over next month, and I don't want to spend all the time with my mother-in-law, and so I can kind of, well, meet her for some time, and my mother-in-law is a wonderful person, but
Barbie area, the doll area.
Yeah, and then we were like, I really like you. Yeah, I like you too. Let's do something, and it was really fun. But when we got into more serious crossovers was with 1 to 6 Dollhouse, who's having and Eero's grandmother and cousin, and they are living about 300 kilometers from me. So when we did the crossover, she actually sent a doll to me, and then we discussed it, and okay, I'm going to do a situation like this. How would she react? Is this dialogue sounding good for you? And yeah, green light, go for it. And talking about her, like, I'm having her again, so we are going to see her too. So I guess Venla won't like it, but let's see what happens. Because yeah, it's going to be very different Christmas for them.
You gotta go back to the storyline. They did not get along. She's quite protective of her boys.
Well, yeah,
that's what I got from it.
Because I don't know how many have got it, but Ilaris and Eero's mom and dad, they have divorced. Their dad has left them for good when Eero was around 4, and then their mom went into heavy drinking, in full alcoholic, disappeared for days, and when social services took them in, they were placed into their grandparents' care. So yeah, grandmother is more mom to them than their real biological parents are.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really sensitive subject for both guys. Maybe more to Ilari, because I haven't really underlined that, but it has come out that they didn't have enough to eat for all the days, so Ilari had to steal something, and he mostly gave them to Iiro. So they have bit different kind of body shapes, and Ilari is actually quite skinny, and it still affects him.
Wow. Wow, it's so in depth. That is so in depth. But what you said, just like I'm thinking of different pictures and posts that you've put out, where you have showcased them and their, like relationship as brothers, and you can really get that sense, Ilari, that he is almost, I want to say, kind of in like a dad position with him. Even when he's gotten on him about certain things. But then how I'm trying to remember exactly when you posted. I can't really think of it, but I think it was like right before the wedding. And you see them talking, and you just really do get the sense that Iiro is like leaning on his brother.
Yeah. They have
for that
6
like
years
love
age
you get from
difference.
the parent. Yeah, and I loved how you did that. But it was just like this. He was like reassuring his brother that everything was going to be okay. But then you also had, the way that he was so vulnerable with his brother, Iiro. It lets you know that I depend on my brother as more than just a brother. And so I really did. I liked how you had placed that dynamic. Yeah, I did. I got it. I was like, wow.
I'm not telling it all. I leave quite a lot for people to figure out. Yeah. So sometimes there's something in pictures that, well, if you look them clearly, you get something extra out of it. Like before I let people know that Oona and Thomas are dating, there was when they were back at home, Thomas was holding Oona's ankle, and you just don't hold your friend's ankle like that. So some people noted that, and I was like, yes. And some were like, yeah, hello, they're friends. Like, yes, okay. I wonder where you're going to figure it out. And
exactly.
So there's a clues in pictures, and there's sometimes things in text too that give something away, but I like to leave it to you to figure it out. And writing for Instagram is so fun because you can interact with your readers, and then you get your feedback. Oh, they didn't get this, or nobody mentioned that. Like, okay, I can play this there again and more, and it's really fun because
it is.
And I've noticed that if you want to keep something secret, you put it right there, right in the front. No one will find it out.
Oh, wow. I take that as a hint, and I'm writing that one down. I am. I like that. Because now I got to go back to your pictures to see if there's like a secret that I'm missing. I'm serious. But yes. So I'm enjoying their storylines. I'm enjoying how you're having them to evolve and shift and change. I feel like there's going to be more about this nosy neighbor.
Oh, yes.
That call.
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. Because I was like, yeah, I think there's going to be more about that and how that plays into, her being at this apartment and whatever else takes place. And of course, you've got this new character that I believe we're all excited about because I've seen all kinds of comments about him. Give us some feedback about him. Like, what's his backstory?
Where is it? You mean Ilya?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure yet because I know you're doing these amazing workbooks where you can put characters, things up that are when their birthdays and what their favorite color and things like that. I think that's a really good thing for many. But I leave them room to tell me who are they and what they're going to do. And that's why I haven't bring him so much, because he's been a little secretive. I know there's something, and but actually he has a little bit a crossover too with Alo Lola Fissen, because because he's been playing guitar in a band, and he was just coming from a tour, and Alo Lola Fissen account is about Elias, help me, 3 girls who had been playing in a certain band and things like that. So there's a little crossover reference too. So
we're gonna check that out. We gotta check that out, guys, so we can get a little bit more about him being in the band. He mentions that he's coming back from the band and he needs a place to crash.
Yeah.
So
and he's also a graphic designer as well as Eero. So they are having this mutual. They have been studying together, getting befriended there. So we are probably going to see some drawing scenes as well.
Good.
Get to know more of him. But yeah, and then there's the wedding coming on, and I'm so stressed about it, because I do so much wedding in my real work, and so it should have been, well, today it was 8 of August or something like I can do this. This is stressing me so much, and then this feels like real work. And this is supposed to be a thing where you can went out and enjoy and do nice creative things, and if it starts to feel like a real work, then it's like, I don't want to do this. So I've been postponing, and I need to do it soon, just to get it out of my system. But I hate the idea already.
It'll happen. One thing I have learned, that the events that we used to do when we were kids, we would have our dolls and just like, boom, we're gonna have a wedding. And it would just happen. Like there was no planning to it. You just grabbed your dolls and dresses and they walked down the aisle. Now we do put a lot more emphasis into how we do it. And I think I talked to someone recently, and I think they said it took like 10 months before they actually, because they were getting all the pieces together and making everything. And so
it's a bit late already. Some use 2 years for like, we have this little bit different wedding. Like, I have heard this story like 20 times this week, and yes, different wedding.
Yeah, the
doll weddings. I'm sounding terrible person here, but if I'm.
They can be quite interesting.
For 20 years, I have really, really kind of, yeah.
Maybe you'll get something small and intimate, so then it's like you don't have to get too. Yeah. But you do a lot of
dresses ready, but because I'm a perfectionist as well. Nobody couldn't kind of imagine that, I guess. So I'd really love to things be perfect, and I'm fighting with myself that, okay, good enough is enough. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be just by everybody. Okay, it will be pagan wedding anyway. So I wanted to do something different. Not white dress and all those things we have seen many times. So I love when people do that, and it's wonderful. They do it in their way, but I don't want to do that. So, but it has been a good lesson to, don't do things that are too close to your normal and everyday life, because they start to feel like work, and they are dragging you down, like, I don't want, and stressing you. So if something is too close to you, don't do it. It's way too close.
I agree. I agree, because I have 10 children in real life. My husband and I have 10. They're downstairs with him right now. And I always wonder, I'm like, why don't I use a lot of kids in my storyline? Because I would like to do that. I'd like to have more kids in my storyline. I've seen some people use their dolls and really make the little people as much of a member of their cast as much as the adults. And I just don't. And I think it's really because I have my own children in my own life, and being able to have my storyline, I want to have it kind of separate
Yeah.
from my everyday, my everyday lifestyle. And I really do. I agree with you. If something is too close to you, it can really become
Yeah.
more stressful and not give you that escapism that you're looking for.
Yeah, yeah. And that's exactly the reason. Okay, now comes the darker part I warned you about. I was asked that am I going to do something where I will mess someone's life with drugs at some point? No, I won't touch that subject. Because, yeah, my sister was a drug addict, fight against it more than half of her life. And it's just too close. I don't see anything fancy, anything nice, and it's just hurtful memories. I won't do it. So, like we are escaping to COVID, most accounts don't have anything to do with COVID because we are escaping it. We are trying to find a better way. No, don't go there. If there's bad memories or such, don't do it. It won't make it easier.
I agree.
And
I agree.
and it was actually the same. We were talking with Taika Tuulia Dolls owner when we were writing scenes what were just published, that it was really difficult to do because, well, we have lived our lives. We have been in situations like that. We know how much it hurt. So it made both of us really sad and a bit depressed. And like, okay, now let's get a timeout because it's getting harder to do this. This is supposed to be fun. Now let's do something different and get back to a different, difficult subject when we are feeling like that again.
Yes. Yes. I agree with you. I fully agree with you.
Yeah.
So with that, if you're listening, don't do the subject matters. It's just you have to know how to say no.
Yeah.
To be able to still enjoy
that is
your
one of the
hobby.
most important words ever invented. No. In many ways.
You have to. So I fully agree with you. And I wrote that down. If there's bad memories attached, just don't go there.
Yeah.
Because you want this to still be fun. You want to be able to make storylines that relate to people and relate to their circumstances and relate to who you are.
Yeah.
But because you are the administrator and you're in control, make sure that you're doing it and it doesn't put you down a dark hole.
Yeah. Because I don't know a single person who doesn't have any kind of skeletons in their closet. So there's always something bad, something difficult. You can make a character who is struggling with their lives without using your own bad memories. You can use something else and you can make it totally believable.
I agree.
Don't use
just
your
like
own.
You said that you always keep your ears going. Yeah. And like you said, it's exactly like you said, being able to listen and hear conversations, and even when you're talking to someone, maybe just take, you don't take like the full story of what you guys talked about, but take a little bit of that, or if you see something on TV, being able to pull some storylines from that without plagiarizing, being able to take what's around you to create your character story and their background and backstory. So I fully agree with you.
Yes, definitely.
I'm glad you brought it up.
And well, we all have some interesting stories to tell. We have something really. I've heard so many times people saying that this just couldn't happen in real life, and I shall bullshit. It's happening all the time, all around us. When we start to open our eyes and open our ears and just listen and look around us, I think it's nothing better than sitting in a cafeteria just watching people moving around you. And it was last summer, it was so interesting to be on a beach, looking after your own kid, and on the other eye, I was looking about a group of 20-somethings and how they're dancing together and kind of forming relationships, and is this going to be something, and how does, like, I was like, oh gosh, I want to put this on a video and make notes on this, like, he has a good chance, and no, he's going to fail. Because like, I was like, it's better than any book. So yeah.
It's true. It's true. I remember with my own niece and nephews, they came over. This was years ago. They were teenagers, and we had little bitty ones. And at that particular time, and I was listening to these teenagers talk, and I was like, wow. It was just so interesting, like the dialect that they used in their different, slang, and they just had their own world. It was as if we were not there, and they were just talking. And the language that they use, and just, the way that they understood each other without even having to say everything. It was just really interesting. And it makes you go, I need to take notes. Like, how can I build a character off of this?
And sometimes you see such an interesting person, like, oh gosh, I wanna know how this ends. And once there was like two young policemen, one with official uniform and one with civilian clothing, and they were sitting behind me on train and discussing about how other one's girlfriend was pregnant, and what he's going to do about it. Like, notes, and they are discussing like that. Oh, men are using this. Okay, it was such interesting because they were both police, and when they're out of their uniform and official role, and they were just two lost guys. It was interesting.
I like that because sometimes we look for people like teachers and police officers, and even with therapists, to have this very sterile life, and we just see them very one-dimensionally. So then whenever you take off that duty, you take off the uniform, who are they really? And just like you're saying right now, they were just two lost guys trying to figure things out. So being able to put that humanness there that we oftentimes forget to do. We forget to see them as humans.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I love it. You're able to put that in with your storyline. You put that in with your dialogue. And just I want to tell you thank you for your transparency during this conversation with me. So I appreciate that. And I really do. I appreciate that. And so that's one. That's one. But then two, of course, we're all waiting there to see what's going to be taking place in the lives of your characters, what's going to be happening next. And I love the factor being that you do leave room. That's one of the things that even with journaling, you still have to leave room with. You can have like an idea of this is what they do right here, this is what they do right here, and they can come right back, like a month or so later, you scratch it out. Okay, they switched jobs. Okay, I'm going to change the whole name. And so, you want to be able to leave room because your characters are always going to be talking. And the moment that you kind of mute them, you put like your hand over their mouth and you're not letting them talk, you just have a very basic one-dimensional character. So if you're wanting to have a more textured character, keep letting them talk, keep letting them, have those happy accents that you just said took place where the girls were looking at each other real and all this attitude. And you see it in the photos. There is so much attitude there. Now, talking about them, before we let go. Okay, so you have Taika. And she's looking at her. Taika. Like I said, I'm going to ask you to go through all these names before we end, because I saw someone else down at the bottom. They were like, how do you pronounce them? So we want to make sure we're pronouncing them right. But when you see them and they're in the house together and they're playing the PlayStation, I love it because I know, like, in the comments, we're kind of like, oh, and I think I even said it. I was like, oh, is this going to be that thing that kind of, breaks them apart? Like, I could see it go multiple directions. And some people were like, oh, I think that he probably said too much. But when I really do think about it and the character that she has, I almost feel like she's going to respect him more for being honest and for her not having to play guessing games. Like, I'm the kind of person I want you, and that's why I said, like, I don't want them to break up. I don't, because I like them together, although I really do like him with her as well as Ona, because they have this magnetic,
Yeah, that's
relationship.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, it's really, you've created a situation, because it's like, I don't know who I really do want them with, but I really do like her because I feel that, Taika has really helped him to grow.
I think they
He,
should have done that. First Ona
yeah.
and then Taika. Yeah, like pulling him up from the down he has been. They both do that, but well, I don't know if there's a possibility that they can do that together, but we'll see.
Well, then that's the thing. We'll see, because they're, we're still having,
Mm.
you're learning what they're going to be talking about and what direction they're going to be taking in their path of a relationship. But I'm telling you, I love how you guys have really crafted these characters. It's so interesting to see this human level, take place. And I say that, and the reason why I say that is because I think about when Ona went to the bathroom, and she could have easily have slept with him right then. And that would, of course, change the whole trajectory of the relationship that he has with Taika right now.
It would have.
It would have changed everything. Like they probably wouldn't even be together. But she, chose the path of going to the bathroom. And I was like, how many of us have been in that situation where you could have taken advantage of the situation of the person, and really just went for what you wanted, because she wanted him right there. But instead, she was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom because I know that he has someone. And she was still trying to, fight her own emotions and, going through this breakup. It was just so well crafted. I saw it in the comments. People were like, oh, I've been there before, this makes sense. Or,
That was one scene that got really much feedback, because it's touched so many, both males and females as well, and telling me that, yeah, I have been there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I mean, and then even the way that you posed her, that was just like, it was just very relatable.
I usually try to, I actually practice with myself that posing and what I would do in the situation like that. And if I feel bad, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to, do that. And then if I like, what was it like? Okay, how's my hands like right now? Okay, I'm doing this. So it's much easier to post the dolls when you try it on yourself first. How would I react? Or like when you are looking at people, you see how they interact with each other. Like, we have all seen that somebody loses their nerve in a mall or something like that. How they are reacting in a situation like that, how they are gesturing and how they are posing themselves, and those are the worksheets we need for posing. Just looking at people and how they are doing, because that's really, really bringing the extra, because body language tells us more than just okay, now yeah, dialogue. Yeah, sorry, little black moment in my brain. So because the body language really, it makes the setting, it makes it true that, okay, or then the body language can speak against it, or then you're like, she or he's telling it, yeah, it's okay, and the body language, it's against it, and like, there's something underneath here. It's not okay. So with posing, we can tell much more than just putting them like, yeah, basic thing. Hello. So it's really, really important.
That's so very true. That is so very true. Because how many of us, especially if you're married or you have a long-term partner, have been in a situation where you can tell that something's wrong with your partner,
Yes.
and they say, no, everything's fine. But you can really see it in their face. You can see it even maybe in the way that they're sitting, like they're slouching more, whereas you always see them more, having a confident stance, but now they're just really slouching, and you can tell something's wrong. You're just like, what's wrong? Nothing. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So you're right. Like that body language can tell so much. It can tell if the person is engaged with their words and they really do truly mean what they're saying, or are they saying something that's opposite? Are they, they're saying something opposite of what they really do feel.
Yes. Yes. And then, well, I kind of learned this from my husband, who is he's doing comics, political cartoons for his work. So he's all like, okay, go sit over there and do this. And I'm like, okay, yes. Are you done now? Yeah, but no, move your hand a little like that. So he really made me do that. We're like, okay, yeah. And the posing really is important to tell the real message, what is going on, because it's much, much stronger. We read that first, and then we read what is said.
I like that. I like that. That's like a quote right there. We read that first, and then we read what's said. And it's true. When it comes to our photography, it's true. And that's what we do in life. With our eyes visually, we're scanning you first before we really even ask, how are you? How was your day? It's the scan.
Yeah.
With, visually, how are you doing really?
Yeah,
I like that.
Holding up here, like.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This has been great. This has been great. Is there anything else that you would like to share, and then I can read through the comments, because you got a lot of comments.
I bet. There's one thing that there was something I forgot to tell when you asked what was my background as a writer and
Yes.
all that. I'm also co-writing a comic with my husband that is exclusive in our biggest newspaper, the Sunday comic, and about family life and what it is about Finland and so forth. So
That is so awesome.
I do that so much.
I love seeing husbands and wives do things together. My husband and I, we do a lot of different stuff together. So I'm like, I love to see partners working together. And then for you to have something that's in the Sunday paper, it's like, wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. And it wasn't supposed to be from our own life so much, but our kid is annoying because he's giving all the ideas like, oh, gosh, you did that, and we have to do this on a comic and things like that. But then about names. So when I was the first doll as a Barbie first, but how her name came up, when I had a child, we had two options, one for girl and one for boy. So I had a boy, but when I got the name, I would have given my child if he would have been she. So and where it's from, I don't know if you know Jeff Smith's The Bone series.
No, I'm gonna look that up.
Amazing graphic novel. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you feel excitement, anxiousness. Sometimes you are just chewing off your fingernails, like, oh God, what's going to happen? Oh gosh, this is not going to happen. And at the next moment you are laughing like crazy. And he's amazing storyteller because he do the same thing we do. He draws, we do use the dolls, but using pictures to tell a story really in a deep emotional level that has been a real deep impact for both me and my husband. And actually, Venla is named, okay, it's
Oh, wow.
from her. She's torn in
Wow.
English, but she's Venla in
Mm.
Finnish translation. And there's also also a little critter, Ted Tobak, that's called Iiro in Finnish.
Oh, wow.
So Iiro actually comes from that comic too, and Ted Tobak has a big brother too, who is defending him. And I realized that this like year later, and like, oh gosh, I did that.
Wow. I love that. I love that. I'm writing it down.
Because it was such an important thing to read for me, and such a big impact at the time when it came out. So when I met my husband, it was really clear, really soon that that one graphic novel was really important to both of us. And yes, my son is named after that too.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. We all do that to a certain degree. Like I have like a son that's named after one of our favorite musicians and stuff.
Yeah. And
So, you know, you share it. You do. You put it with your children.
yeah, and then there's another thing I'd like to point out, that many have this thing about writing that they think they need to start from A and go to Z, and it doesn't have to go like that. I'm not doing it. I could start with like in middle of story. I don't know who the characters are, but I have these little movie clips in my head, and then I just turn it into writing into paper, and then I can write something from the start and then something from the end. And I call it patchwork technique because I have these different kind of scenes I kind of weave together, and what's the real timeline and what's happening there and that. It's really, you don't really need to be from A to Z. You can do whatever you want to do. I have things that I have written that's going to happen about 2 years from now. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not, but I got those movie clips out of my mind, and I can go to the different thing and get the next idea.
I love it.
The most difficult thing is to get it logical. So there won't be very big time jumps or gaps. So it's moving smoothly. But yeah, it doesn't depend how you write. You can like do little stories, like one per picture, and yeah. Rudolph
Yes.
the reindeer has a very bad day. He ate bad oatmeal and has a diarrhea and an old poor sunshine. And whatever. That's a story. But, and yeah, I'm sorry about my humor.
No, you're fine. I'm glad. It's true though. It's very, very
It's
true.
the first thing that
Sometimes
came
you
to
the wrong
mind.
stuff, it can cause that. But I'm glad that you said that because it can. You can have a short story that's just for that one post,
Yeah.
or that's, you know, just like throughout your whole timeline. It's really up to you. And I think sometimes we all can get stuck on that, especially if you're just starting an account.
Yeah.
And you're wanting to do storyline, you're like, okay, well then I have to have them move into town and I have to have them do this and that. No, you don't. Or you have a new character that you're bringing in. They have to move in from town and we have to see them start with this. We have to see them start with that. There's really
Yeah.
no formula. It's up to you. How do you want to do it?
Yeah, and you don't have to do you don't have to be having a cliffhanger in every scene. Well, because where I'm looking at it, many stories move too fast. We need time to get to learn to know the characters, the world, and the setting. So taking time is a good thing. We don't have to know what brand of toilet paper they are using and how much milk they are buying this week, but you get the idea. The basic things. You don't have to have a high drama all the time. Sometimes
For
it's
sure.
nice that a character goes out and yeah, it was a nice weather and oh, birds are singing. Oh, I feel good today. Then you
I
can
agree.
continue with because you need to let the reader breathe. Because if it's high drama all the time, you get bored. Because it's too intensive all the time. You need quiet
I
moments.
I fully agree. I fully agree. And I've talked about that on here as well. It's my own storyline that my Kai and my Heidi, I just have them more for, just for fun
Mhm.
because some of my other characters have such intense lives that I'm like, you just need to just have like that mellow time and just laugh, and
Yeah.
be able to have that enjoyment and that breather from everyone having such intensity going on. So I fully agree with you that there does need to be that comedy relief. There needs to be that, just positively, walking, like you said, walking outside and be like, oh, fresh breeze and look at the flowers growing. You need to be able to do that as well because that keeps your audience engaged with what you're writing.
Yeah. I keep changing my position all the time because I'm hurting, but never mind.
Are you on a stool like I am? Because stools hurt the bums. I'm on a stool right now.
Yeah.
They do. They hurt the bums. It's not real
Yeah.
cushiony.
It's when you start to remember that yeah, good before stab in your ass has been vanished years ago.
I know, right?
Like yeah, we are not 20 anymore.
Oh my goodness. And we didn't take advantage of that time. We didn't know. We
Yeah.
didn't. We didn't know. Age just kind of crept up on us, and it does.
I'm
It
trying to
happens.
keep myself in line because I have really bad humor after all.
Oh no, you don't. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I do. I enjoy it. I do. I guess my last question. My last question would be, what would you say are the pros and cons of storyline writing? Like, what would you say are the pros of it, and what would you say are the cons of writing storyline?
That's a really good question. I love that you get to know your characters yourself because longer you are doing it, more you get out of them. Like little changes in their mood or what ticks them and what makes them happy, and you get so much more out of them the longer story you are doing, and you get the depth so different when you have time to do it. Like I told, and the story needs breathing time, and it shouldn't be really really fast and really yeah. I'm taking a little time here because
You're fine.
okay, the cons is that you get stuck with it. It's difficult to start like different storyline or doing different things because you are so stuck with your basic characters and storyline. It's hard to think of the other things when you still are doing that number one story because you are most invested in that. But it depends how deeply you go yourself into that. I know it sounds schizophrenic, but sometimes
No.
when I go somewhere, I'm still having those characters in my head and like seeing like ugly Christmas weather, and then half of the crew is like, "Yikes! No, no, no! Don't even think about it." Like, don't give me ideas. Um, yeah, I please tell me you are going there too, because it's my
Oh no,
husband
I
is always like,
yeah.
this is sounding so schizophrenic, like, but they are alive in my head. Yeah,
They are.
like my kid came to me a couple of days ago and, Mom, my Lego is alive. I'm like, okay, I can tell you a secret. So is my dolls. So yeah, you get more out of them the longer you do it. But it takes more time, and it takes more planning, and the longer you go, because setting ups, because you need different kind of places to take the photos of, because you can't do it in the same place forever and ever. You need to change the places. So it can be either pro or con, depending on how your mind is set up. If you like to do crafting things or doing doll houses and such, then it can be a pro.
Oh my goodness, you said crafting stuff. We have been seeing you craft in your stories, and I'm so excited to see what you're about to do with all this food that you've been making.
Yeah, that actually started as an accident too. My kids saw me watching some miniature tutorial, and I was like, oh, those are great. Mom, those are really, really great. I want to do it too. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's buy some polymer clay, and here I am. I don't know how to do anything like 50%. I always go into 100% there. It's just the way I go. I don't know how to do it otherwise.
I understand. Well, I'm excited because I want to see what you're going to do with it. As far as, I think we already had a sneak peek when Winlove was eating with Thomas, and they were having the food then. So I'm excited because I'm like, you made so much food. I was like, I don't know if that's gonna be for the wedding or what, but you've been doing a great job with that. I was like, wow. I don't know if you want to sell it or what, but they were definitely good enough to sell. They really it's a whole other, situation to have to handle doing it that way, but they look good. You did a really good job.
It's been too much fun, so I have done plenty. So I probably need to sell some. So because otherwise I'm going to drown in it. Like, yum. Oops.
It looks great. It does. So I'm looking forward to it. You just link it in your bio whenever you're ready to sell. And then I'll let other people know, and I'll be buying. So I'm excited about it. I really, really am. Now, if anyone has any questions, I think someone does. I see one question. Let me come over here. Actually, there's two questions. Okay. Lola, Fishin, is that right, Fishin?
Yeah.
Said how to create dioramas that feels like a real place. She has two very good questions. How to create dioramas that feel like a real place, and how to do adult content with so much emotion. Those are two very good questions.
Difficult questions.
No. So first one, how to create dioramas that feel like a real place.
Okay, I've done two kind of dioramas. The ones like over there.
Wow. Now, is that the old house that you had, or is that one that you've built?
Actually, I can't take a credit from that because it's another Finnish person who has built it, and built a bigger one, and she needed to. Well, she didn't have a room for such a big dollhouse, and contacted me right after when Ilari was looking for a house and asking me, and could this be Ilari's new house? And I knew her before that, and I was like, are you talking what I'm thinking of? And like, yes, I do, whatever. Yeah, because it was like kind of meant for me. Yeah, and then there's other ones built in old bookshelf that I have just put paint and some old pieces of wallpaper and stuff like that. But you don't really need to do big structures like that. You can use a couple pieces of cardboard and just play it along with it. Yeah. I think the most important thing is the light. If you can use natural light, it's great. If not, there's so inexpensive ring lights or little spotlights you can use on. But I think the most important thing is the details. When you look at your own home, it's not just like you have a couch and you have a mat or carpet on the floor and maybe you have a TV, but you have something there. You have like maybe dead house plants somewhere, or herbs are growing, or some kind of piece of art there, and dirty socks on the floor or something. When you're taking your own home and places where you have visited, they all have some of those little details. They can be they feel like that, okay, this is out of place, doesn't belong here, but it really makes the sense in dioramas because they make the feeling that it's somebody lives there, somebody has a life, because that's what's wrong with interior designing magazines. Those rooms never feel that somebody lives in there because they completely lack the human spirit or
Yes.
in them. Okay, they are beautifully done, but who lives in a place like that? And
Exactly.
so, track back into your own life. What's your own home feel like? You have forgot a packet of cornflakes on the kitchen table, or things like this, things that makes us human. We forget and leave things, and we like pretty things, and we just put them here and there, and so I think that's the secret.
I like that.
Details.
I like that. I like that. That's so very, very true. And then her second question
Oh gosh,
is how
emotion.
to do adult content with so much emotion.
That is a really tricky question because I don't know how to answer that. Because I have noticed I have a skill to well get the feeling I want. I get the reader to feel that kind of emotion.
Yeah.
Because every time I have had that certain kind of feeling, and okay, this is going to hit the mark, and it does it. I don't know how to well describe it because it's very innate to me. But I'd say you can kind of try to find the feeling you are trying to describe in yourself. Yeah. Uh, if you want a character feel uncertain, think about situations in your own life when you have felt uncertainty, and try to kind of find that emotion in yourself, and then put yourself into the place of the character and start to write. So it's basically I do the marketing things with work as well. Like when you're try to sell something or something like that, and you call and you fake a smile. When you smile, you sound very different, and then you're sounding friendly. You are sounding easy to talk to. So you can just kind of trick yourself into feeling those kind of feelings. But if you go into the darker feelings, you go into desperation or sadness, and don't linger in there. Get it done. Get it over with. Don't waddle in there, because those are feelings that are harder to get by. Lighter feelings are much easier, and especially in times like this, the darker feelings are so much closer to the surface. So don't waddle in the dark feelings.
That's
Get
so
it
true.
done.
It's very, very true. Those dark feelings, they carry such heavy energy. And just literally, like when we talk about energy and what that means to us as humans, whenever we attach ourselves to it, they just really do pull us down, and they can pull you down way quicker than
Yeah.
what you're expecting. You know, you may feel like if I just get into this character's mindset and think about heavier issues, I can just snap right back into feeling happy and jolly, and that's not really the case. Once when you know
Mhm.
allow yourself to seep into that darkness, it is more work to get out. So,
Yeah,
like you said, you know, quickly writing it and getting through it.
yeah, and how you get the emotions, if you want to get reader to get care about your characters, uh, nobody's perfect. We all have flaws. Make them human. Okay, Marvel has a great amount of superheroes. They have flaws too. That's why we care about them, because they have flaws. They make
Yes,
mistakes.
yes,
They learn by doing. Like that. So if you just make a perfect character, no one's going to care about for him and her, because there's nothing you can relate on. So make people to care about your characters. Give them something you can relate to.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a whole lot. Making relatable characters. That is so important. And I believe sometimes we can, you know, want to use our doll world as our form of escape, to where we create such perfect characters that even we ourselves, as the writers and administrators, we don't even
Mhm.
relate to what we've written. So we do want to make sure that we put some human value in there. And your
Yeah.
human value may be, you know, different. You know, you're going to pull from different aspects than what we do. Yours may be still very Lucille Ballish. And I love Lucy. So I'm not at all, you know, saying anything against her.
Yeah,
It's just that
but
she
she's
was able to still
such
keep
over
it.
the top, so it goes like that. Like,
She still kept it relatable. She kept it comedy. You know, she kept it lighthearted, but she put her flaws in there. She put Ricky's flaws in there. You know, you even see, you know, with the neighbors, their flaws. So there's still those flaws and still those human aspects. There's still the fact that Lucy was dealing with insecurity. She had a husband that, you know, worked with all these different women and stuff. And so she put that in the storyline. But she still kept it on a comedy basis.
yeah,
So it doesn't have to be so dark where it, you know, really does bring you down and push you into a seep of depression. But put flaws. It's so important. It is. It's so important. It's relatable to you as the writer. It's relatable to your audience.
yep.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you fully. And someone else does have a question. What is this question? She said, how is it possible to hate Iro and now we love him? How does it work? How did we hate Iro and now we love him? That's a
Yeah,
good one. I love it. I love it. That's true though.
and because I don't think nobody is a bad person. Nobody is just evil or bad, because well, we all have those yeah, flaws, and even when there's a villain in your characters, they have a good side too. Nobody is just 100% bad one. So because well, I think evil is made. Something has happened. They are mistreated, misunderstood, something like that. Something terrible has happened, and that's why they have turned bad. For Iro, he's an idiot, but a very lovely and lovable idiot, who is really in middle of his growing process. Uh, and
Yes.
and I guess it's easier to relate to him because he's doing very much. Um, he's doing mistakes so much. Like now when he told Taika the truth about his feelings for Ona. So he was trying to do the right thing, but still he did it in clumsy and idiotic ways. Like
We did. We did.
when actually we were writing it, we were kind of role playing it with Taika Tuliado, and And when we were writing it, we were both like, oh, he's an idiot. Yeah, I agree. And then this is going to end badly. But well, Ira is my favorite, and that means if you're a writer's favorite, you are going to suffer most, and that's why he's going into the difficult situation again and again and again, because I love him. And
he's so lovable. He is.
and he's
just
and he's very insecure, and he's trying to, well, cover it with all that macho bullshit player thing he tries to pull off, and it fails miserably. But he tries to cover it, and hey, his big brother is like a yeah, well, yeah, leader of the pack, and so he tries to live up to it. Like, yeah, I'm as tough as he is, and he really tries, but his methods are really questionable. Yeah. But he tries what he can, and remember, they are guys that their parents has left behind.
Yeah,
they probably don't know what it feels when mom hugs you, and so they have very limited social skills. They both have that. Ilari hides it better, but Iiro is so sensitive. He really struggles with that.
Wow. I love how you, like I said, you have played such, I say textured and layered characters, and you've been able to really make them human for us. So it's more than just us seeing a doll that you're taking pictures of. This is beyond just product photography. This is really being able to see characters that are in 3D or even 4D, and being able to see who they are in each one of those layers and in each one of their situations. And I'm very fond of the brother relationship that you have crafted between them. And I watch my own children, and of course, like the older that they get, more their personality comes out. And at first, when I read it, I was like, would he really do that to his brother? You know, in the very beginning of the story when he's trying to win over Winla. But yeah, they would. When I look at my kids and some of the stuff that they do, I'm like, why would you do that to your brother? Why would you do that to your sister? Because I'm trying to raise you guys to be cohesive as one unit, and, you know, to love each other and look out for each other and want the best for each other. But oftentimes you do kind of see the younger one, and not all the time, because sometimes it can be the older one, kind of work against what, you know, work against each other when they should be working together. Yeah, and really be understanding, like, you know, my brother likes her, she's off limits, and not trying to create a situation for themselves. So at first, like I said, I was kind of like, no, but then I really did look at my children, because I don't have any siblings. I'm an only child. So when I looked at them, I was like, oh, I can see it. I can see how that can happen. Even though your big brother
favorite scene of the two of them was at the very start, when Iiro was having a vacay from the army service, and Ilari said to him, and remember, I'm living by the military day routine, and he didn't take it as serious as he should, because Ilari woke him up at the 6 a.m. and like he would wake up the whole company and like, are you seriously doing this? Like, yeah, I told you, I warned you already. And so I get up and let's get around. Like, are you seriously? And then he's just throwing middle fingers from the bed. I think that's my favorite scene for the two of them.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they do. They have a very, I love all the different scenes, but like I said, I do have, you know, an affection whenever I see the two of them together and their interactions, because it's just so genuine. And then with me not having siblings, and that's always something that I wanted growing up, I really do feel this like endearment towards sibling relationships. So I like how you have really brought that out. And just you run with it in a beautiful way. So I do. I like it. I like it a whole lot. I like it a whole lot. And I do have we got time for one more question. Looks like there's two though, but let's see here. And you decide which one you want to answer. One of the questions is, did you plan the story or go with the flow? And the other question is, do you think you're the writer or the dolls tell the story? Oh gosh, those are two very good questions.
Oh,
I don't know which one. One of the questions was, did you plan the story or go with the flow? And it's up to you which one you want to answer. And then the other one is, do you think you're the writer or the doll tells the story? Good questions. Good questions. I like that.
I do plan, but does it always work? No. Like I said earlier, sometimes they dictate the rules because they didn't like the way what I have planned for them. So yeah, I have things that should happen around 2 years from now. I don't know will it ever happen, but I just say that Thomas' mother is such a bitch. I really want to get her out, but yeah. I do plan, and I have lots of things that I know it's going to happen, but when I make the photographs, if they are co-working with me, then it will happen. But then I just have to go with the flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes just I'm just doing something and like, oh, this is ending up like this, and oh. And sometimes there's such a great inspiration, and just I'm writing, and like, oh, I'm writing like, I didn't plan this. But yeah, it's
and it works out so good though. It does. It works out so good because then it even gives us like a different understanding of the characters that we're forming. You know, when you just leave that room for them to talk and to be.
Yeah, and when I'm choosing the dolls and the faces, and they really have to speak to me. And when I got Venla's face, and I really need to do some photographs with Ilari at first, and then do they have any kind of chemistry and all? Because I did have one head before that, and it didn't work at all. It was like, they don't have anything. And yeah, when the Venla's head actually was found, and it was like, those two are really annoying because they are such into each other, and they have such huge pull, and they weren't even together at that time. And I just did the test shoots, and there was Venla's hands were all over Ilari. I'm like, come on, you can't do. I'm the director here. You can't do this to me. You need to wait something. Please.
Oh goodness. I'm totally thinking while you're talking though, and I just want to bring this up as like what I really did like was that you brought up about her fear of storms. And then, really did tie in how that related to her past. I wanted to bring that up earlier and I didn't get a chance to, but I want to say kudos on that because I think that that's a really just huge thing because so many of us may have certain fears and concerns, that still travel with us even into our adulthood. And other people don't know about it, but that one person who's real special in your life, they know and they're able to give you like this comfort that you need in the way that you'll have him just kind of like tuck her in his arms. And I love how you do it. Like, just like someone said, how do you put so much emotion in there? But I love how you're able to do that where he just grabs her up and she just snuggles in his arms. And, he just, gives her this. And that's kind of even how they even, I'm not going to say how they met, but like that's almost like the beginning of their story was with this storm
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Yeah, it was,
Yeah, and so I
without that storm, it
love
would
when
have
you do
taken
that.
much, much longer because
It's
Virpi was
fun.
still present and I couldn't resist. I have a fish and Virpi now, so I don't know if she's going to, well, come back sometime. I don't know what happens, but there is a fish and Virpi too.
Okay. We have something to look forward to again.
Yeah.
And we're doing more questions, but in the same hand, I did say that was going to be the last question. Did
Okay.
you want to answer another question?
Yeah, I can do. What was the question again? Because my close
Well, there's
memory.
one more question that someone has, and I think that you actually now what you just responded, I believe answered both of the questions as
I
far
think
as do you
too.
go with the flow or do you let your dolls tell a story? The next question is a little bit more graphic. It was ever thought about killing off a character?
Oh yes.
If so, how would you do it?
I'm not going to
Like I said,
tell
a little
you
bit
that.
graphic.
I have no problem to hurt, um, maim or kill any of my characters. Yeah, of course you get really attached to them, but I have no problem to do that. If you get hurt, you get hurt. Like Venla, she's bearing her scars all her life. Um, I have read enough stories when somebody has been close to dead and terrible accident, and there's nothing wrong with them, not even Scar. Not very believable to me. So, yes, there's probably someone's going to die at some point. Yeah, that's true. But how I'm going to do it? Well, I'll answer this with Neil Gaiman's word. Gaiman? Gaiman? How do you pronounce it?
Gaiman, I do believe.
Gaiman? Yeah,
I have
okay.
only heard the name. I have not read it, but I do believe this name.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have heard
and
this.
I think he had a wonderful idea about writing. That it's good thing that you show your writing to your close friends and like beta reader or something like that. And then when they're saying, okay, this really doesn't work, that it needs something else. Yeah, they're probably right. But how you're going to do it, the advice is probably wrong. So there's something wrong, you need to fix it, but not in a way how you, well, think you would do it. You need to think
Sure.
something else in
I
your
agree.
own way.
I agree. I do. I do. Now, for me, I've always struggled with killing off characters. I said it before with Catherine CPI. We were talking. I struggle with that. I still have one story that I wrote years ago, and I didn't complete it because it made sense logically that the child in that story would die, and I didn't want to. This was before even being a mom. I didn't want to do it, and so I just have it still sitting there on my USB on my laptop. Haven't done anything with it. I've written one story though where I did actually kill off the wife and the unborn child, and that was really hard for me. And it was Sweet Irene, old Sweet Irene. It's out there on Amazon, but that was a hard book for me. Now, would I do it again if it justified the storyline? Yes.
Yes.
But it's really, really hard. I will admit, because I bond with my characters. And for me, it's like to kill them off just feels too real. It
Yeah,
really
and
does.
it's a waste of character. You have used so much time to, well, build them up and make them feeling real. And if you just kill
Yes.
them without any cause, that's just waste of character. They there needs to be good reason to do that, um, to shock or how it will affect the other characters, something big. Because
Yes.
if you do something so drastic, it really has to have meanings. And it has to have effects on others, because otherwise it's just wasted thing.
I like
Yeah.
that. It must have meaning. I like that. That's so very true. It has to have meaning. Try and make sure our connection is still good. All
You're not
right.
breaking
All
up
right.
anymore.
It's going in and out a little bit. But yes, I agree. I fully agree that it does. The shock of it, it has to have meaning. You don't just want to just kill them off and everyone's like, yay, I'm glad that they're gone. And then you keep right on going because they mean something to someone.
Yeah.
At least one person in that character, you know, in that storyline. And so you do want to represent that.
You know, if it's like, oh, Alice died, oh, well, let's go get some coffee. Like, what's the use?
Yeah. Yeah. Great. My gosh, there's so many great points during our conversation, guys. So many. I thank you guys for being with me and being with Barbie, Life Size, and Winla. And so let's see here. I'm going to see what other comments anyone has. They have, haha, maybe I will kill them. Haha. It would fit and work very well. Gets too attached. Oh, goodness.
I'm not George R.R. Martin. This is not Game of Thrones.
Some of us chicken out and don't kill them after all. And that's true. Some of us really, really do. Thank you guys for joining. Gay men, I do believe, as far as the last name. Yes, it did. Let's see here. Teasing and spoilers when. Oh, they want to get some spoilers. We're not going to release any spoilers. Like she said, you have to be able to follow along with the characters because you yourself don't even know what the characters are going to be saying.
Okay, so, I know some of them. Okay, if you have some spoiler, let's say Ona is going to do something very stupid and regret it later. But yeah. But what's the thing is, I'm not going to tell you that. You have to wait for it.
I already had something flying in my mind already. I'm hoping it was
name. I forgot that. Where should we start? So, if we start from the newest one, Ilya. I feel so stupid.
Oh no, we want to make sure we say these names right. So yeah. We do because it gets us more.
Come on, Iiro. It's not Liro, Laro, and Iiro. Double E.
Iiro.
Yeah. And yeah, Thomas.
Thomas.
It's without H. Thomas. And we are going to see him later on. And then we have one nameless dude. Because I'm not really sure what's going to happen.
Okay.
And our favorite, Ona. And then we have Antti. And the granny, Berta. I think when I'm pronouncing it like they say, it sounds so like harsh. I don't know.
Berta.
Tanya. Oh, Nora doesn't have anything on her, but I'm not sure. And Venla's sister, Ronja. And then we have Mr. Smoot, Jesse. Oh, he's so clumsy. Oh, come on, dude. You can do it without falling. So, Venla and Ilari. Is there anyone? Jan, Tanya's daughter, Tessa. Do I miss someone? I'm not sure. But yeah, most of the crew here.
Yes. I love it. Oh, good. Yeah. Good. I feel better now. I feel better. Honestly, because I want to make sure whenever I'm saying their name, you know, when I'm reading it, that I'm saying the right name. Because that's part of who they are, character-wise. So, It is. It's important. Like I told you, my name is different as far as how to pronounce it. I'm not going to say everyone in my culture has different names. So some people are named Sarah. Some people are named, you know what I mean? Some people
Yes.
have more simpler names. But for the most part, people who are part of the Black culture have names that are different, who are spelled different. And you have all these different letters that are placed together that creates one name. And so you want to make sure that when you're saying our name, that you're saying it in the way that our mothers and fathers have
Yeah, I
labeled us
know,
to be.
because I'm Aurora, and so many places when I go, it's like Aurora, I'm like, who?
Yes.
Because we have
Oh my
really
gosh.
strong
And
art.
I saw that too. I saw on your on your profile it says Aurora. And
Yeah.
so I was thinking of who was I thinking of when I saw that?
Oh, let me guess, because I
It's,
have heard this quite many times, like, oh, Aurora Borealis, like, yeah, and oh, and Sleeping Beauty, I was like, the first
and
50
that's what it
times was
was on
fun.
Sleeping Beauty. It was Sleeping Beauty and on Willow. I do believe
Yeah,
that the baby's name was Aurora.
yeah.
Yes.
And when you are working in customer service, you hear that a lot, and like, is is it fun? Yeah.
But
Oh,
the
I'm
good thing
starting to
is
sound
that
like a bitter hag here, but
but
yeah,
both of those characters make us so happy though. The
yeah.
baby and Sleeping Beauty. So it's a good association. It is. It is. So yeah, I do. I understand. It is. Let's see here. Thank you for doing the names too. But yeah, a lot of people are commenting on how so emotional your storylines are. The storm thing was brilliant. And it is. It truly is. It really, really is. Someone said, shit, I'm late. That's okay. You can always watch it on rewind. It's okay. Were we talking about writers have tough love for their characters?
Yes. You don't want to be a rider's pet. You really don't want to be that. It's a worst
Yeah.
part you can play.
Yes. It really, really is. It adds to the realism. However, the flaws are great. Very, very true. Flaws are very great. So much with the he. Okay, let's see. This is a comment. Yes, I think doll rooms need little details and they don't need to be too big. They quickly look too big and too empty. We want to see the mess. When you were talking about putting the socks out there, the dirty socks and stuff. And I like that. Are you still planning on the new fantasy story? And that was the question soon after we talked about the food making. And someone wanted to know if you were still planning on playing on the new fantasy story.
Yes. It's written about 10 years ago. It's still a good story. And I think it would be really wonderfully played with these dolls. And I'm doing, but it's so slow progress because I have to so big and detailed dioramas because it's a fantasy medieval world, low fantasy, let's say that. And I need to make all costumes because nothing I have won't work. And I need horses, I need a well, and I need this and that. And yeah, it's progressing, but it's slowly thing. And I have main characters already selected. I have found heads, and I have them in my hand, and they actually one of them has been seen as a side character in my story already, and the other one is going to be because the idea is that when you die, you kind of travel into a different world with your memories and background and you find yourself in a very new place. So it's very different story that I'm doing now, but it's going to take time, a lot of time, because I still work, and I have a little kid, and we have a winter, and there's a lot of snow, and means I'm going to spend hours of shoveling snow in the rest of the month, and so those things take time.
They do. But I'm looking forward to when you write this because that right there is a book. It's a movie. honestly, that's definitely something for us here on Instagram. But I do believe that that is a book and a movie as well. You know, the idea of reincarnation, but one, being able to still have your memories, and then two, going to another time period. I'm here for it. So I'm really whatever you do it. Be it this year, next year, a year or two, whatever. I'm ready for that.
I hope so. I hope so because well, I think it's had a lot of potential. So
It does.
well, yeah. But I
I mean,
hope that when I'm able to start it, people will know that, oh, we have seen those faces before, because they are going to play the side characters in my current story too.
okay.
Yeah. One we have already seen, but yeah, I won't say no more about that.
Yeah, don't say anymore. Don't say anymore. Because this is your storyline. I want you to be able to have that all the way. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot because we oftentimes talk about reincarnation. My husband and I were just talking about it earlier today. So I do. I like where you're going with that. Let's see here. Winter Woods 2018 said, no, we all experienced it. And she was talking about as far as hearing the different voices, and you were saying, no, I don't want to sound schizophrenic, but we as writers,
we are all
not
crazy here.
We give a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah.
About sitting on the stool, your poor back. Oh, I know, right? Very interesting. Sadly, got to get back to work. Catch you later. Definitely see this on Rewind. Agreed. Emotion, waves, highs and lows in action. Yes, and that is exactly what we get a chance to experience with your storyline.
Okay.
That is how a movie is done. It is not in order. It is edited to go in order. That's true. Yes, movie clips. I do that. Movie clips are very important. Oh, someone said you look like Winla too, like Winla. That's good.
Yay. Oh, yeah, I got
congratulations.
And
there's a lot of congratulations about the comic book strip. Yes, and that is why some stores or some stories are interesting to me, like the San Francisco Doll, or Barbie and Doll's Heart. They are so wonderful at that. I'm trying to remember what that was in reference to. I think that's when we were talking about going back in time with your storyline, that it didn't have to be from A to Z.
Yeah.
Yes, and then someone was saying at the moment when we see Ona and she's in the bathroom, you know, what we were just talking about, they said that was amazing. And you missed a lot. There's so much good thing in this interview. Oh, someone was nice. That's very, very nice. So it's some hello.
I saw that earlier. I know who it was.
Loving this conversation. Yes, me every time I go out, as far as them being able to have a doll and having that background. So yeah, just a lot of great points. If you didn't get a chance to see this, definitely go back, save it, see it again. Because I mean, there's so many great points that I picked up on. Like I said, every time I talk to someone, just honestly, every time I talk to someone, it's about learning to me. Because we all write differently and we all have different points of views. And what you guys do, it matters. And you know that. I already told you I'm a fan of your page. So I'm a true fan of your page. And it's just some people who were just saying that they enjoy that you pronounced everything. Pronunciation is everything. And yes, you make rooms look so good. Fantasy storyline era, yes. Fantasy medieval.
My chin is starting to hurt because, like,
I know, right? From smiling. So everyone is loving storylines.
We don't smile this much. I'm actually breaking my jaw.
I know, right? It's like exercise for the face. I understand. I understand. I want to thank you so much for joining me today and for having this conversation and for just everything. I really, really do. And I thank you for sharing your storyline with us as you're doing the profound work. And congratulations on what you and your husband have going on.
Thank you.
That is great. Congratulations, of course, on everything that's going on with you as far as with the fashion. I know that you said you get tired of the fashion industry, but still, congratulations. And
Thank
congratulations for
you.
what you and your husband are doing. It's amazing. I'm hoping that somehow I can like obtain a copy of it even here in the States. So we're gonna have to see how that can happen. Yeah, I'm serious. Like, can I get that online or something? Because I'm
Well,
curious to know.
I have to consider about translating it into English because it's, well, yeah, I don't know.
It'll work. I mean, translations is just like it's like we can get through that. That's
Yeah,
there's
actually,
so many
because
different apps. There's so many apps and stuff. I'm like, we can do that. We can do that. So I
yeah,
just want to be able to. I love comic strips. It takes me all the way back to Saturdays and stuff. So
yeah.
and Sunday comics. Oh yes, yes. So yeah, we can get through that. That's not a real big deal.
Wow.
Thank you guys for interacting with us. Congratulations. Thank you again for having this with me. Because remember, this is later. It's like midday for me, and it's later for you. So I want to thank you again.
Thank you. It was really wonderful you asked me to join because I
Thank you.
love to talk with people and well, what's the better than talk with things we find passion within and can share those things and yeah, I want to thank you too and everybody that joined us. It's been a pleasure.
It has. It has. Well, if anything, you know that people are watching your storylines. We are enjoying it. I still got people in here in the queue with the question, but we're going to have to do that later. So I thank you again. I want you to have a really good evening. Give your baby a hug and tell your family thank you so much for allowing me to have your time today.
Thank you. And take care and we'll say later.
Okay, we will. We will. Most definitely.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.